Welcome back to the Ryunohara channel. Sorry for keeping you hanging for such a long period of time. I've been very busy. The guest house is finally open. It's now September and the guest house has been open for a month. Quite a few customers have come and I can't wait to show you what it looks like inside. I'll leave the animal update for a separate time. The goats, the chickens are all doing fine, the rice too, but let's have a look inside first. This is the main door. Guests can check in with the keys in here. But actually I'm here all the time, so I normally greet people as they come in. There is a mosquito coil burning there because it's now summertime and we have quite a few horseflies coming. Right, today is quite fine, no horseflies for now, but that's just in case of mosquitoes and any other bugs. This is the main door which we have kept, we didn't touch it. The lamp there is from the electrician, he found it from another build and the person who owned this didn't want it, so I have a new lamp. And by the way, all the lamps are controlled by IKEA Trud-free system, so they all work like this, wirelessly. And as you enter, this is the main area where you remove your shoes. These are sandals for the guests. There'll be 3 guests check-in today, so I'm just doing this because everything's nicely prepped for you. You'll see a nice step here. You step up and it's all wood from Wakayama Prefecture, this prefecture. So it's all local wood and the carpenter did most of the wood, well all of it, he put all the wood down. But there were volunteers, my dad, me, we were ripping out the old stuff and this is the cumulative effort of everyone involved. So lots of people had to wax the floor, wipe it off, you know who you are. The neighbours also helped, so this has been the work of many people involved here. The wax we're using is the same as the reading room. It's Osmo color from Germany, so it's non-toxic and animal friendly, kid friendly. Toys you can use you can use that to make toys, and it's not toxic even if you put it in your mouth. So this is all environmentally friendly and human pet friendly. So I'll show you different bits of the house. Let's go through the main area first, the bedrooms, and then I'll show you the bathroom and everything else. I'm really happy with this area because it allows me to put flowers right in the center of the house. This table here is actually made from the main beam of a house that is being demolished. 89 years old that house was. It came from a friend called Kazue-san, and Kazue-san has been giving us food with volunteers and I food all the time, but she also gave us very nice wood, which I got Nori-san, the carpenter, to slice into 3, make it shorter, and assemble it into one table. So that's why you can see the grooves here. But you can also see the flowers here. The vase here is from Naoko-sensei, the music teacher, and these are from her garden. This Shukaido. Shukaido is a plant that means shu, autumn, kai, sea, and do, hall, the hall of the autumn seas. The pampas grass is from around here, and pampas grass has some stems, some red stems, and the red stems, if you slice it, you can see all red inside. It's thought to be the blood of the gods, and the blood of the gods means that this plant is inhabited by the gods. So that's why kaya roofs, kayabuki roofs, are thought to be holy. Bad things cannot reside within them. So apart from expressing autumn, this is supposed to ward off any evil. So that's why I like this table so much. It allows me to express the seasons and guests can see what's up next in the next few days. So that's the table, but I also like the painting there. So let me go closer. This painting here is by Mr. Boo, the father of a good friend, and he's drawn sparrows and orchids. The painter, Mr. Boo, loves orchids and flowers, so that's why we have orchids here. And I like to have grasses in the main display so that it can reflect or mirror all this nice orchids coming out. The person who bought this house with me, I bought this house with 2 friends, he likes birds too. That's why the main piece of painting in this house are plants and birds. These birds are from Singapore, they're sparrows. The local legislator, Mr. Adachi, has given me this rock here. And if you have watched Parasite, the Korean show, you know that rocks are a sign of the literati. They are well loved by scholars. And this rock here is from the Kumano region. It's a Kumano rock. So he found it. This legislator, he's liked it for a long time. And when he came to this house to have a look earlier this year, he thought it would be a waste to have this in his own office. Why don't he just give it to me? So here it is, a very nice piece of rock that reflects those rocks there. And that's why I like this corner so much. You can have the flowers up there on the main table, the rocks, and both of those things in the painting. Just beside the painting there are fusuma, sliding doors, paper sliding doors, designed to hide all our linen and towels and everything. The reason why I'm showing you this on this tour is because of the very shimmering, nice fibers here on the paper that look like, to me, chrysanthemum charcoal. In the tea ceremony, you burn special charcoal that have a very chrysanthemum-like shape. So I really like this, and it's for people coming here for tea, because I intend to host tea events here, and actually there'll be a group coming in October for a tea experience with my friend Ofnil from Indonesia. So I wanted to show that this place is also for tea, and that's why we have this nice symbols here. If you come in real life and move your head around, you can see the little pieces here, the chrysanthemum shimmering in the light. So it's especially nice at night. The next piece of art that everyone notices the moment they come in is this boat here. This boat here is made of paper, it's bamboo and washi, sanjigami, so local paper. And all this here was handmade by Mr. Okuno and his wife, so Mr. Makoto and also his wife Kayo-san. This here is dangled from the top, so it actually shakes a bit in a breeze if the doors are open. And he calls this the Yomigairu Bune, which is the boat of rebirth. The Kumano region is known as the land of rebirth for people coming on the Kumano Kodo. They come from the city, they're tired, they're weary, but they get reborn through the experience of pilgrimage. And this house is in the Kumano region, so that's the first thing. But the other thing is that I had guests who came over in end of March, early April, Australians, eight Australians. They came over to a tour, and I showed them our area, plus I walked with them on the Kumano Kodo, the pilgrimage hike, and then they participated in Mr. Okuno's paper workshop, which is when they asked him if he could make something for me. And so this is the boat from Perth, from Australia. Yeah, and the other thing is, this here is also to express the idea that the house has been reborn. A house that was first a residence and then used as a place to tie offerings, as a place for sewing machines, and now back into a residence, so it has been reborn. This is the main bedroom, which has beds, not tatami mats, because it's easier to clean wooden floors, and I want to make sure this place is really clean. So we have beds also because after a while, people coming to Japan, they tell me we want a bed, and also older Japanese people, they find it very difficult to get off beds on tatami mats in the morning. So that's why the beds are lifted off the ground. But Japanese buildings like this one were built for tatami. So if you put a huge bed with legs on coming up to here, the room looks really small. And I've tried that here, but eventually I decided to remove the legs and place the beds right on the ground, so that, well, it's not too low to the ground. At the same time, it doesn't make the room look small. So there are two beds here, and there's a changing room there. You can see it's all sliding doors everywhere. Shoji doors, which I really like. Both the two large bedrooms have an area like this, so they can change here, and hangers here. Especially in the winter, you want to hang your jackets and all that. This is to place your luggage. If people are coming for more than a few days, they can place their luggage here. There's a mirror here for people who want to put on makeup. There's tissue paper, of course. So this area basically a nice area for you to put your things and keep your things away. The thing that I've been asked is oh, what about all these curtains? Why couldn't you have chosen nicer curtains? And the thing is, unfortunately, hotels in Japan, we have to use fireproof curtains in case of fire. So everything here is fireproof, and there are not so many choices when it comes to fireproof curtains. So I just chose something not too obtrusive, some cream-colored blackout curtain, so you can shade everything out if you're traveling from far away, you're tired, you want to have a nice rest in the day, and also just nice gauze curtains for keeping out the sun in the daytime. But of course you can open the windows, so that's another thing. The other thing about this house is that if you watch the old before videos, you'd see that the mud walls up there were caked in soot because there was a fire there was a fireplace in the past. So what I've done here is I have ripped out the outer layer of the shikri and applied a layer, a barrier, and afterwards it was Josh, who I'm very proud of because he watched YouTube, and after a few minutes he started working on these walls. So he put on all the new shikri, the clay on these walls, and it's his very first project as a plasterer. And given how smooth this is, I think he could serve as an intern at some plasterer's workshop. So this has been very nice, and I like to call this the Josh room. The other room I'll show you also was the work of other volunteers. This room also had mud walls on the top, but we removed the mud walls because they were quite difficult to repair, and to put on new mud walls would have cost us a lot more than having the carpenter put on new wood. So actually all this is wood that has been burnt, so yakisugi, charred, and it looks really nice with this because everything is now black. The scaffolding here with the mud was removed by Yak and also Marie, and I can't be sure if Chris helped also. I think Chris also helped. Maybe Mary Ann helped also. So quite a few people involved in the demolition here. They were all dusty, caked in soot. If I'm not wrong, Nigel also helped. Yeah, maybe Nigel helped. So quite a few volunteers were involved in this room, and then afterwards was the carpenter's work, putting on all this new wood. So I really like how the old wood here, that's over 120 years old, goes very well with the wood that's less than a couple of months old. On this end are two other rooms, which are actually just one large room, because why are they one large room like this? And that's because the house was built in a traditional tanoji. So the Japanese word for fields is written as a square with a line in the center, a line down the vertical axis, and it's basically like a graph with 4 cells. So the trouble with a graph with 4 cells is that you can't enter one room without passing through the other room. I would have loved for rooms to be separate so that customers have more privacy. Well, it's a one house rental, so everyone should know each other. But the thing is, I wanted to keep the original character of the house also, not change the wall layout too much. So that's why it's still this layout, and you have to walk from this room to get to the other room. The thing is, customers seem to love the other room. I'll show you in a bit. But this is the one room where you can be alone here. This is the only room with just one bed, and yeah, it's a nice cozy room. This is how the other room looks like. It's 2 beds further in from that room, and I'm happy to report that actually people love this room. So instead of staying in a big room, they say, can we just stay in this small room? And I say yes. So I think it's the coziness of this all. It's all wood. It's I like the light here. Both walls have very nice views outside if you open the windows. If you don't open the windows, it's still filled with light coming in. Green on this side because of the plants, and white on that side because it's just a parking area. So I do like this room, and for some reason people love the bed in there the most. You also notice hangers like this everywhere. So if you're staying here, do not worry, there are places to hang your clothes too. There's a little area here with the hangers and all that. But yeah, hangers everywhere, just in case. And if you're wondering why there are lights here, it's fire department requirement that every room has a lamp, a torch like this nearby the exits. So it's not actually for you to find your way around at night. The lights are bright enough for that, but it's a fire department regulation. So the fire department fulfilling the regulations and applying for the license did take quite some time because it was my first time applying for everything from scratch without the help of a scrivener. But City Hall was quite helpful. The fire department was quite helpful also, so I completed all the documentation myself and with Yasu, my business partner. So the City Hall person said it was the best paperwork they've seen in years. The main living area, I've kept it quite simple. Nothing here except for the chair. And this is for people who want to read. So books over there, you can bring a book here and read. I like sitting here. It gives you a view of the entire house, all the rooms, everything. You have a nice cozy corner. The plant beside you is casting nice shadows on the paper door. So I do like this corner quite a lot. So I like the collection of books here. These are books I've read, so that's why I like them. There are books about Japanese food. You can see wagashi here, books about curry, about kaiseki. So food, and ningyo is just because we have this doll from Kazuko-san from the onsen. This guy is singing a kind of tankobushi, a song about drinking sake. So there's a famous song that I have to ask Naoko Sensei, the music teacher, about. But it goes well with the book about Ningyo, the Japanese doll. Below this you see books about plants in English and Japanese, organic planting, James Scott Against the Grain. There's Naoko Abe's book about Cherry Ingram, the English guy who saved Japan's blossoms. Books about Japan, Your Dog is Your Mirror by Mel's teacher. Mel is a volunteer who helped to train Ume and Mori recently with the natural dog training methods. There are books about herbs, there are books about plants, there's a series of encyclopedia about Japanese plants but in Japanese. There are books about gardens in Japan, Tibetan sacred art, Japanese architecture. So if you stay for a month, I guess you can finish all these books. Come here in winter, you can spend all the time indoors. The other thing is I should show you what's down there. So cushions, yes, and a nice fan with bellflowers for the season. But what I'm really proud of is this. A first aid kit. It's not a requirement in Japanese law to have a first aid kit, but we had a volunteer called Joseph, Dr. Ang, because he's a doctor, and he helped to assemble a very nice kit. He very kindly sponsored all this. He bought all this stuff. I bought the box, he bought everything else, and bought the stuff. We have stuff for headaches, we have stuff for flus, we have stuff for removing poison from your skin. We have muhi, which is for bites and all that. We have gloves, we have pincers, so anything to repair cuts and simple headaches and all that. So the thing is, we do have Dr. Heli coming, the doctor helicopter coming, if you do have emergencies, but if you don't have an emergency, then it's an hour's ride to the city. So if you're traveling here with friends and you just have a tummy ache, don't worry, we have the tools. This is the Engawa, which we have not done too much to. I got Nori-san to lower the floor here a bit. It was actually the same level, but lower it a bit so that's the same height as the windows here. And it's the old height of which this Engawa was. The previous renovation did this house no justice. Well, did this house no good. So I did a simple renovation here, just replaced the flooring. And what I want to show you here is a nice stitch at the end. So my godma, Mrs. Ya, stitched this, I think for a month or two. And it's a very famous painting by, you can see, Utagawa Hiroshige. It's called Excerpt of Asakusa Rice Fields and Torinomachi Festival number 101 from 100 Famous Views of Edo. So this is not Edo, it's Wakayama, but there's no window here at the end of the Engawa. So I thought, why don't we have a window with a little cat? Because you don't have cats here just yet, so representation of a cat. This is all stitched. cross-stitched. So the rest of the house is clearly separated, clearly delineated from the bedroom space by this flooring here. It's a cement floor with not kakishibu. It's made with bengara, so iron oxide pressed into the concrete. So the local plasterer, Mr. Uemura-san, and his assistant spent a lot of time making this really nice and smooth. We first used this method on the kitchen for Ryunohara Shakudo. We put pine soot, so made it black there. But for this place, I didn't want to have a black floor. I wanted a nice bright floor. So nice bright floor, alright. This leads you then to the kitchen, to the toilet and the bathroom, which I'll show you next. Oh yeah, and there's a study area. So over there, for anyone who is working remotely. If you are working remotely, there's a surge protector, and the Wi-Fi router is just back there with a speed of 551 megabits per second, which is pretty fast, and a nice monitor for you to link up with HDMI to your computer. So if you're in the unfortunate position of having to work, then you could work here. This table here is recycled, so save this from a house that, well, a person who wanted to throw away this table. And there's Wi-Fi password and everything here. You can just scan the QR code. So this chair is from a carpenter in Kyoto. I used to run a hostel in Kyoto, and the man next door, he used to be a carpenter. He's now retired, and he gave me his chair. He gave me two of these chairs actually. So very nice sturdy chair. I would also like to point out the painting here, which is another gift from another friend. So let me just zoom in. So it's actually nicer really up close. This is a painting of a dragon going up to the sky by an artist who lives in Tofukuji in Kyoto. And I have a very good friend who runs an ice cream and not mochi. She sells mochi too, but also kimchi. Yes, kimchi. She sells kimchi and soybean milk ice cream. So white miso with soybean milk. One of the customers is a dragon painter. He paints dragons. So she told the man about my story, about living in the dragon village, and he painted this for me. So it's written with the bonji, the Sanskrit, no, the not Sanskrit, it's an Indian calligraphy. So anyway, it's three names of bodhisattvas, Fugen, Daikokuten and Kichijoten, the goddess of fertility, the goddess of agriculture and rice, for planting rice, and also for Fugen, the bodhisattva of practice, of putting in work. So I like this dragon. He has nice shiny eyes. Oh, the other thing is, it's just one long stroke. Yeah, the main body of the dragon is one long stroke. So it's a one-stroke dragon. Now on to the kitchen, which is quite nice and large. There's a table for 5 here. The last person will sit on the bench that I made, but I like this table. And there's a fridge. There is a sink, which was given to me by a friend who bought a house here. This here is 30 years old, but he bought me a Dremel tool, and he also personally helped to remove any rust and all that. So this here is nicely polished by quite a few volunteers, including Marianne, and my friend helped to remove the rust. We store wine glasses and plates and bowls in here so that customers can cook. So here's a close-up look. We have rice that we planted ourselves. So Ryunohara rice. I've kept some chili in there to hopefully keep out any mites. Yeah, all good. Yeah, all good. There's a rice cooker in there. There's pots and pans. Yeah, pots and pans. There is a microwave in case you want to microwave. There is a Cuisina toaster, which goes up pretty nice temperatures, 230 degrees, and you can toast your bread here. I like this oven. There's a nice IH cooker here. I'm using IH instead of gas because I don't want to pay for additional gas every month. LPG gas here costs $23 US dollars, no, $20 US dollars per month, even if you don't use it. So that's why I'm using IH, and it's safer anyway, no open flames. This here has a nice hood, so you can choose the speeds. Yeah, it's working, it's good. And if I turn the camera around, we have hot water, we have cold water, soap that is ecologically friendly. This here is because we are using a septic tank that drains out into the river. So after cleaning the water, of course, but I use eco-friendly soap. There's a little compost bin if you have vegetables and all that you sliced. There is Sarawak pepper. My sister brought them over here. Soy sauce from Kyoto, only the best stuff. You have all sorts of vinegar, mirin, sake, the works. You have chili, of course. You have salt, you have sugar, kombu, seaweed, and pasta if you want to cook right here. There's also dashi seaweed and biscuits and all that for sale if you want to use them. One more thing. On this corner, it's a bit tilted, but anyway, we have a temperature controlled kettle, so you can actually control the temperature at which you want your drink at. So 100 degrees or 97 or 85, that's up to you. This is especially handy for people who want to drink tea and coffee. So nice spot there. And then there is a, let me just fill this up for the customer who's coming in. Okay, fill it up for the customer who's coming in. And then there is a coffee maker here. A nice set of knives. Set of knives here. And what is this, bread knife? And there are cooking utensils of all sorts, including, very important for most people, a wine bottle stopper. Of course, the wine bottle opener. There's also the beer opener. So that's what people want. We have all of this stocked here. Your usual forks and spoons and glasses, and we even have a Tanabe an earthen pot for you to cook rice if you prefer. So there's that. There's also a portable gas stove, just in case the electricity goes out or someone wants to cook outside. So yeah, there's this, and let me show you what the bin area is like. Over here we have to sort our garbage, so clean plastics go in here, PET bottles after they are washed goes in here, and glass bottles and cans go in here, but everything else goes in here, so customers are expected to sort their rubbish. So this is the fridge, and the fridge has cold water, it has Nihonshu from Daimon Shuzo, a brewery in Osaka, of which my friend is the owner. There are condiments of all sorts that you may need, mustards, what's this, wasabi. There is your spreads. There are your spreads for your jams. There's kaya from Singapore. There's a compartment for the ice maker machine. Glasses, chilled glasses for your nice alcoholic drinks. There's also cookies and cream from Haagen-Dazs. And if I go further down, I'm not sure you can see this, there's a freezer which only has one thing, which is gin. And then there is the drinks compartment. Let's go down here. Yeah, drinks for sale, which is all sorts of beer and from Voyager Beer in Tanabe City. And this is from Austria, Sunny Klaus, which is really nice, and orange juice. So these are all for sale, beers and whatever someone might want. So that's the drinks bar. So when a customer wants to use the snack bar, they just look for the prices on all our stuff. So for example here, this is our snack bar. We have drinks bar here also, but for example the peanuts have over here 140 yen. So that's about $1.20 in US dollars. That's peanuts. And I've priced all this at convenience store prices, so it's not terribly marked up. It's just in case somebody might want some pocky and not have to visit the supermarket, which is an hour away. So all this has been prepared for guests, and all they have to do is to look at the price here. Let's say 250 yen for these pretzels. Are they pretzels? Yeah, pretzels. And they write them over here. You write the price of whatever you've eaten here, and at the end at checkout we can do payment by credit card, QR payment, or cash. So this is for the convenience of customers. There's also a nice collection of sake glasses and this little bottle for you to drink Nihonshu with. So all these are from the friend Kazue-san. Her grandfather used to be the priest at a local shrine, and the shrine used to loan all this out at weddings and good auspicious occasions. So people don't borrow things from shrines anymore. So she gave all these things to me. These are very nice kutaniyaki, so quite precious. This room here is for the vanity. All the wood here is from Ryujinmura, local wood, and vanity here has, of course, it's stocked with toothbrushes and razors and all that. So for the convenience of customers, there are marks. So I do like this area, but most people find this area very useful for the washer dryer. So this has the wash and dry functions, which are very important for someone traveling. I've traveled to too many places where there's only a washer and no dryer, which is if you're staying for 1 or 2 nights, it's very inconvenient because you have to dry stuff outside. And you might be doing something outside and it rains, so of course having a dryer is nice. There's also an ironing board, an iron from the 1970s. It's brand new because no one has used it. Even I haven't used it, so if you come, you might be first to use this Toshiba iron from the 1970s. Okay, but yeah, we also use eco-friendly detergent for this. That's about it for this place, and then this room here features a bathroom. Okay, anyway, we're in here, so you can see face wash, body soap, shampoo, conditioner, and this here is for you to sit and shower like this. Yep. The bath is in there, it's automatic, you can fill it up in the morning just by pressing a button, and it's nice, it's new. It's also rated for the strongest earthquake, so this is the safest part of the building if there's ever an earthquake. As for this area where you get changed, you have your imabari face towels, your imabari bath towels, more towels in here of course, and then there is moisturizer and conditioning gel for your skin, cleansing pores if you have makeup, of course your earbuds, your tissues, and in here we have more toothbrushes, shower cap if you need. If you're a person with long hair, you have hair bands, you have bath salts from the local onsen, Ryujin onsen, so you don't have to actually go to the onsen. You have sanitary products, which are very important because we're quite far away from everything. We have also more razors and more hair brushes here. Also, if you are weight conscious, there is, put this back nicely, there is a weighing machine. There is also a nice heater, so in the winter you can just press this button here and those elements will come on. It's actually very hot. Then have a cooler function, that's having 1 bar on. You can have cool function, which is nice in summer now. It's just cool air, and there's a human sensor here, movement sensor. So as you go in the room, this turns on automatically, so very nice. All the doors here have been custom made too. And finally, this is the room that everyone's very concerned about, the throne room. Ta-da! This is the latest Toto Neo-Rest, which opens automatically. If you sit down, this area here is of course heated. Oh, that's actually the bath coming on automatically because we're close to check-in time. So anyway, you can lift all these things at the press of a button. There is of course, if you sit down, over here, a heated element that comes on, and the washing bidet function has a massage function, so we have labeled it water jet massage. So there's also a big flush, which we call royal flush here. So I do love this, and I hope you can come here to enjoy the throne room. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour. This house has been a cumulative effort of lots of people. Chris helped to jackhammer this place, and then Nigel helped to remove the walls, and Marianne, Murray, Yak, there's Josh, There is actually lots of people. Vic helped to clean all the dust. So lots of people who remain unnamed have helped to clean this house. My parents came too. So clean this house, prepare this for everyone, and finally, after so many months, it's finally done, and it's thanks to everyone involved. So when you come here, please come stay for 3 or 4 days. If you come for 1 day, there's all the traveling involved from the city and all that, and you leave the next day, which is not much fun. Come for 2 or 3 days, and I can take you for a separate fee, a tour of Mount Koya, which is nearby, the Hongu shrines, the Shingu shrines. We could go hiking on quiet trails. We could go for waterfall meditation. We could go down to the river to play with the water. I have 2 paddle boards which can float down the river river with. And I do meals as well. I cater breakfast, which can be traditional Ryujin porridge with pickles and fish. There can be sausage, eggs, and toast. Eggs from Phoenix, our little hen, and toast, which is made every morning fresh. So you can have kaya bread, Singapore bread here. That's one thing. You could have tempura, which you pick from the fields if it's the right season. We could have satay skewers, so grilled skewers with Singapore curry. We could also have, and this is depending on the season, a hot pot. So a hot pot of Kumano pork or beef, and that's all when you book the whole thing. It's on Airbnb.com. So have a look, and if you do come, I'll be happy to host you. Come and explore this house, Ryunohara Hatago, the rest of Ryunohara, the goats and the chickens. You could also just sit down, relax, read a book. It's up to you. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for watching this little tour of the Hatago. Bye-bye.